All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to explore one of the most spiritually powerful nights in the entire Hindu calendar. We're talking about Maha Shiva Ratri, the great night of Shiva. This one's a big deal. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? What can you really get done in just one single night of devotion? I mean, we're not just talking about going through the motions here. The idea is that there's this incredible potential for real, deep transformation, and it's open to pretty much anyone, all within the space of just one night. It's a pretty wild concept. So, okay, let's break it down. What is Mahashivratri? Well, the name itself kind of gives it away. It literally means the great night of Shiva. It happens once a year, and the core practices, they're actually pretty simple, but don't let that fool you. They're incredibly powerful. You've got to fast during the day, and then you stay up all night in a vigil, with worship and meditation. It's all about turning your focus inward. But here's the thing. To really get a handle on this special night, you've got to first understand the one it's all about. And Shiva, well, Shiva is probably one of the most complex, most paradoxical figures you could ever try to wrap your head around. Seriously. And this contrast right here just perfectly sums up his whole deal. There's this one story, right, where he shows up in a forest and he's this wild ascetic, totally nude, smeared in ash, looking, well, a little unhinged, to be honest. He's laughing, shouting, crying, dancing. And this is the kicker, this same being is also understood as the supreme being, the creator of the entire universe, the truth of the truth. He's this unknowable, fiery pillar of light. So he's both the ultimate outsider and the ultimate source of everything. How's that for a paradox? Okay, so you might be thinking, how in the world do you even begin to connect with a being that complex? And that's a great question. But the cool thing is, the traditions of Shiva Ratri give us some very specific and actually pretty accessible tools to do just that. The main symbol you'll see is the Shiva Linga. And what's so brilliant about this is the idea behind it. Your devotion isn't about what you have, it's about what you give. You don't need gold or silver. I mean, look at this list. The scriptures talk about lingas made from jaggery, from butter, salt, sand, even bones. It really drives home the point that the material itself doesn't matter. It's the sincerity, the feeling behind the offering that counts. Now, along with physical symbol, there's also a sound tool, a mantra. It's the Pancha mantra, Om Namah Shivaya. And you got to understand, this isn't just some random chant. They call it the soul of the Upanishads. Those are the super deep ancient philosophical texts. It's seen as the simple yet unbelievably powerful key to unlocking and realizing the divine that's already inside of you. But okay, the big question is, does all this actually work? To answer that, I want to tell you a story. It's a fantastic one, and it shows just how powerful these practices can be, even if you do them completely by accident. So let me introduce you to this hunter. His name is Grudruha, and he's not some holy man or a priest, not at all. His whole life is basically about violence. So one night, he finds himself trapped up in a tree, hiding from wild animals. His only goal, just stay awake till morning. That's it. Now, you know how it is when you're trying to stay awake. You do little things to keep busy. So to fight off sleep, he starts doing something totally mundane. He just starts plucking leaves off the tree he's sitting in. And it just so happens to be a bilva tree, which is sacred to Shiva, and he's just dropping them down one by one, just passing the time. And this is where it gets interesting. The crucial detail. He has no idea, but right there at the bottom of the tree, hidden from his view, is a Shiva Linga. So this totally mindless thing he's doing to stay awake, it's accidentally become a sacred offering of bilva leaves. Can you believe it? So he keeps this up all night long, and without even knowing it, he's performing a perfect Shivaratri worship. Think about it. He's staying up all night. That's the vigil. He's fasting because he doesn't have any food, and he's making offerings of bilva leaves. He is completely clueless, but his actions are lining up perfectly with the official rituals. And then, at dawn, something absolutely incredible happens. Grudruha's entire mind, his whole psychology, gets completely rewired. He's just flooded with this overwhelming feeling of repentance for his violent life. And right at that moment, they say Lord Shiva himself appeared and granted the hunter liberation. Just like that. All because of his unintentional but perfect act of devotion. What a story, right? And it really brings us to the ultimate point of this whole festival.
See, it's not just about getting some blessings or having your wishes granted. It goes way deeper. It's about a profound internal cleanup job, about purification and ultimately liberation.
The special vow you take for Shiva Ratri, it's called a vrata, and it's specifically designed to help you conquer what they call the enemies within. And no, we're not talking about some external demons. We're talking about the stuff inside all of us that holds us back. Lust, anger, greed, attachment, pride, jealousy, that whole list. This night is basically a battleground for your own soul. And it all builds into this really clear path to freedom. So, you start with the physical part. The vow, the fasting. Then you move into the night of devotion and worship. Those things become your tools for the really hard part, conquering those inner enemies we just talked about. And what's the payoff? Well, the texts promise you get both aham and param, which basically means happiness and success right here, in this life, and ultimate spiritual liberation in the next. Not a bad deal, right? So, I want to leave you with this really profound thought from the Upanishads. One would cross over death only by realizing the supreme. There's no other way to sift darkness to elimination. The great night of Shiva, when you boil it all down, it's so much more than just a festival. It's an opportunity. It's this one night a year where you get a chance to face your own inner darkness. And through devotion, whether you mean to do it or you're like our hunter and just stumble into it, you can find a real path toward illumination. And as that ancient text says, there really is no other way.